Question number 14. 14 says that you have to talk about either a semicolon or colon, comma, or a full stop. Let's look at the sentence. Estonia instituted fare-free rides for city residents, but car use in Tallinn has only slightly declined. Okay, a complete sentence. We may be able to use a semicolon or a full stop. Let's look at the next sentence. As a 2014 study by the TGES Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden found that the car traffic in Tallinn was down less than 3% since it was enacted. Now, if I don't have the word as, then I can say a study by this in Sweden found that the car traffic was down less by 3% since it was enacted. I can say it's a complete sentence because it says a study did all of this. But when I'm saying as a study, that means I'm continuing the part. I'm talking something about the previous sentence, which makes this semicolon, that means A, and this full stop totally out. So these two are gone. Now, what's the difference between comma and semicolon and a colon? A colon says that I'm giving you further information. I'm adding information, while a comma only separates two parts of the sentences. Either it says that it's a different phrase that I'm adding, or it says it's a list. But in this case, it's neither of those, or it describes the previous sentence, but it is not even a description. So I'm supposed to use a colon here. Now, colon says that now I'm talking about the extra information to be given here. If this part isn't very clear, you should look at the punctuations video, which I have separately posted in one of these files that you can see on the portal. Let's look at question number 15. 15 is a pronoun-based question. It says that one, policy, or it. What should you use? All these three words, it, that, and one, are pronouns, and D is a noun. We should use a pronoun in a sentence if we are very clearly referring that pronoun to one specific noun. Let's see if that's happening here. As a 2014 study, so my first noun is study, by the Royal Institute of Technology. My second noun is Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden. Sweden is another noun. Found that car traffic in Tallinn was down less by, so I have car traffic, I have Tallinn, I have lots of nouns. 3% since it was enacted. Now, what was enacted? Traffic was enacted, Sweden, study, institute, what was enacted? We don't know what is that it. Hence, I need the policy here. And that's why D is the correct answer. Easy? Let's move to question 16. Now, this is a little bit new type of question that you probably haven't seen till now. It says which choice introduces the paragraph. Once again, it is not only grammar that is tested here. Yes, you will look into grammar rules. You will see if the rules are used properly. Along with it, you will also see that it should give the introduction feeler. It should not be one of the sentences that is continuing or making further transition or concluding. There shouldn't be a conclusion here. Okay, let's read the original sentence first. It says, instituting a fare-free system can also have a devastating effect on cities' transportation budget. And in order to make it an introduction, I need to know what's happening in the paragraph. So we'll have to read the next few lines also. All public transport systems are subsidized by the government to some extent. Okay, so we're talking about subsidy. Large system, substantial portion operating revenue. Okay, so we're talking about money. Since systems that go fare free, we are again talking about money, they often must operate more buses and train to hire drivers and personnel at the same time. They are losing key source of funding. Okay, money. So basically the paragraph is talking a lot about money. Yeah. Original sentence, fare-free system can also have a devastating effect on cities' transportation budget. It's also talking about money. Okay. And what is that devastating effect? All of these are the effects, all the wrong things that can happen. Let's look at the others if they are something better. requires planners to make careful consideration about changes in service. I'm going a little away from my overall topic, which was money. We're not really talking about service, we're talking about money, which serves better with budget. So, not B, might also have a negative impact on the environment as more service added. So we are talking about negative impact, yes, but we're not talking about environment in the next part of the paragraph. So C cannot be the answer as well. Has also the drawback of increasing crowding on public transportation. Okay, so all of these can be correct here based on grammar, but the only one that introduces is something that talks about negative effect on budget, because everywhere I'm talking about budget in this paragraph. So A is the correct answer. Okay, let's look at question 17. Once again, I'm hoping that you would have already got it correct. Let's see. Advocates of fare-free policies claim that the cost of these policies are largely offset by various savings. However, a recent study comparing projected result of fare-free policy in different cities found this outlook to be way too sunny. Okay, so I'm saying something and then I'm changing the direction. In the original sentence, I am changing the direction, which means that option D is definitely out because it continues the sentence further. Another part that you should know is a semicolon and are rarely kept together. We have done this in our punctuation video earlier. Yeah, so over here and goes away. One, because we have to change the direction. Two, because we don't usually use semicolon and and together. Very rarely, in a very particular case, it is used. I've already explained it to you in our punctuation video. Okay, and if you still have doubts, we can have a one-on-one and discuss this further. So now we have but, however, and comma. Comma says that no, I'm just continuing the sentence, and you cannot use a comma if you have two complete sentences. In this case, we have two complete sentences, so comma option also goes away. Both however and but, they do what? They change the direction. Again, in the punctuation video, I have explained that however, if you want to use it, you have to first put a semicolon and then start a new sentence. So your sentence, if you want to use A, that means however, should be advocates of fare-free policies claim that the cost of these policies are largely offset by various savings. Semicolon. Sentence over. Next part. However, a recent study comparing projected result of fare-free policies in different studies found this outlook is too sunny. So I need a semicolon between these two. Then if you add a but, that means the next part of the sentence is now a dependent sentence. It is not independent. Why? Because I'm starting it with but. When you start a sentence with however, it becomes a complete sentence, and when you start a but, it becomes incomplete. Just remember it with this trick. Okay? If you don't want to go into a lot of grammar rules, you can just remember a few tricks this way. And hence, C is the correct answer for this one. Easy? Let's look at 18th. So, outlook to be way too sunny. Now, when you say way too sunny, that's just a spoken English sentence. That's not really grammar. Yeah, that's not really how you write it. This is more of spoken English. And that's why I keep telling my students that don't use your spoken English approach, or don't let your ears see that yeah, it sounds perfect, so it should be correct. What should you be using, which is more of a written English formal language style? Outlook to be looking too much on the bright side. Okay, let's look at others. Pretty upbeat versus overly optimistic. Now, not really a lot of grammar rules, but basically the formal writing style. When you say overly optimistic, that's how you write it. You say fare-free policies in different cities found the outlook is optimistic. Outlook is not sunny. So look at the literal meaning. Can outlook be sunny? Can outlook be upbeat? Again, uh, a lot of spoken English students would say, yeah, that's correct. But no, it's not upbeat outlook. Looking too much on the brighter side. Once again, too long sentence anyways to be correct, and also looking too much is not the correct way of saying, or a conciser way of saying. this part, overly optimistic. So the best option here is option D, overly optimistic. Okay, let's move on to question number 19 now. Which choice provides an accurate interpretation of the chart? So you have to read the chart and you have to look at the line and you have to look at the option. So you're doing three things together over here. Okay, let's see. Public transit was projected to save 8.4 million per year in fare collection costs, but create a deficit of $72 $72 million per year in lost fares, on top of capital investment in new equipment and infrastructure. So we have to first see if this information is correct according to the table. The easiest way of looking at this is, look at where is 72 millions. Here it is. Where is 8.4 billion? Here it is. So let's see if the content written also matches. 8.4 million per year in fare collection. 8.4 in fare collection matches. $72 million in deficit, but no, it's the cost of adding service. So this doesn't match the graph. Even if you don't look at graph, the sentence is quite incorrect. It is saying 8.4 million per year in fare collection costs, but create a deficit. If I'm projected to do something like this, I'm not going to create a deficit anyways. No, but let's not use that knowledge right now. The easier way is just map it with the graph. Yes. So 72 is adding service. It's not to create a deficit. Next one. And save an additional $112 million from lost fare. Okay, so here is 112. Save an additional 112 million from fare, and over here it is saying cost and lost fare. So that means this is the cost, not cost is as in you're spending. No, cost and lost fare is this much, and this one is saying save an additional this much, not cost but save. So you are, instead of spending, you're saving. So even if the figures are given, you're not really talking about saving. You're talking about spending. Next one. But result in total increase of 184 million per year in operating cost. Okay, this is 184 million operating cost. Total increase of this much a year in operating cost. This is the increase. So you have 5 million, now it has increased to 184 million. Yeah, so that's the total increase. Can agree. Okay, let's keep it. And save $72 million per year in cost related to adding service. Once again, written over here, 72 million per year in cost related to this. But here we are saying that it is going to save it. Here we are saying cost of adding service. That means we are paying, not saving. Yeah, so that again is not the exact information, and hence C is the correct answer. So very simple. In any graph question, you just see the graph. So we have fare collection, low fare, adding service, total additional cost. Don't get carried away with words like save and save over here. Although they're talking about the correct number from the correct box over here. It talks about save. But these are the costs. Saving is only over here. And that's why the correct answer for question number 19 is C.